What's going on, guys? Adam Ivy, AdamIvy.com. Today I'm going to switch gears a little bit and talk about something that I think most of us find relatively uncomfortable to talk about. And that's the fact that as a music producer, as a graphic designer, as a creator, as an entrepreneur, as anyone in the marketing or digital space, we deal with loneliness. Now, you might sit there and say that you don't, and maybe you don't. Maybe you have a family of 8 people in your house and it's almost impossible to have some solitude. But let me tell you what, for most of us, that's not the case. I did music for years and I still do music, even though the office is kind of disheveled right now. That's a whole different story. I'm in the process of building this thing out to be pretty impressive. But in my years of doing this, I find myself getting into slumps, and I know that a lot of you can relate to this. Is we seem super productive. You have this feeling of fulfillment. You have this feeling like, you know, you're kicking ass, taking names, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, boom, you feel like you're all alone. You feel like nobody really gives two shits about what you're doing because everybody lives online. You don't get any knocks on the door. You don't get too many text messages. And when you do get text messages, you wish they were phone calls. And when you get phone calls, you wish they were in person, you know, meetups or FaceTimes. And that's normal. But in 2017 and beyond, if you're watching this 2, 3, 4 years from now, we put ourselves in that position more than we acknowledge. So what do we do when we feel lonely? We jump on Facebook. We jump to watching YouTube videos. We jump to Twitter, Tinder, MySpace. Maybe a couple of you still on MySpace. But that's the thing. It's simulated stimulation, right? It gives us that dopamine. It gives the serotonin released up in the brain to give us this feeling of fulfillment, give us this feeling of satisfaction. And then when we come down from that, the loneliness actually hits us a little harder. Now, loneliness, you could use whatever adjective or whatever, you know, phrase you want to use, but it's real. It is real. And I'm here to talk you through some of the techniques that I use to get through it. So first thing is action. And I know I say this all the time, take action. But the first thing to do is when you feel lonely, who do you want to talk to? 3 people, name 3 people up in your head that you would like to be talking to at that very moment. Now, don't get super deep and start dwelling on, you know, people that have passed away or friendships that have fallen apart, because trust me, that's a slippery slope. Next thing you know, you'll be building a Facebook page about how depressed you are. But 3 people that you want to talk to, and don't hesitate. I don't care if it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't care if it's the middle of the day on Sunday. Make a phone call, make a text message out to these people, because when you put your what would it be? What's the word I'm looking for? Your intent. When you put your intent out to the world, you're going to get a response. It might not be immediate, but if you think about it and take no action, you will not get a reaction. I promise you, every single time, and that's for pretty much anything in life. So that's the first thing. Second thing, resist the temptation to jump on social media. You have to understand and be self-aware of why you're feeling this need, this urge, this addiction to talk to people online, talk to strangers, talk to people you don't give a shit about, read a bunch of statuses that's just going to get you heated or upset or frazzled. Yeah, I used the word frazzled. I'm pretty proud of myself right now. Resist that temptation. Instead, I want you to think about something real quick. Whatever you're doing, whether that be a business, whether that be YouTube videos full-time, whether that be making music full-time, in any regard, whether you're a mix engineer, a producer, a beat maker, a writer, a singer, a hip-hop artist, what have you, that probably started as a hobby that you grew to love and you became passionate about, right? At some point in your life, that was what made you happy, and it still does. I'm assuming it still does. But as a entrepreneur in the music space and as an entrepreneur in other spaces, a lot of times our hobbies turn into what makes us money. Therefore, essentially turning us that into a job. And when it's a job, it's not your escape anymore. It is in a very minute way, in like a different type of category, but it's no longer your escape to keep that peace of mind. One thing that I embrace is a routine, right? So you work, you put in the necessary steps that it's going to take to get to where you want to be, whether, you know, you're doing music or what have you, it doesn't really matter. but you need to have something built into your routine as an escape. And it should be a social escape. I don't care how introverted you are. You can get yourself into social situations that you don't really have to participate in actual social interaction, but it's way healthier, than just sitting by yourself, sulking by yourself, and diving headfirst into Facebook for 3 or 4 hours in a row. Just, I don't care about any of this stuff, but I feel like I'm participating in something. I mean, we all fool ourselves and justify why we're wasting all this precious time. I highly recommend the gym. The gym is my escape. I absolutely love it. I go 6 or 7 times a week, and it's not just for health reasons, it's for mental reasons. It allows me to put my phone away. It allows me to put it on airplane mode so I don't have to respond to text messages, phone calls, don't look at any apps. Got to be a little disciplined. And there are apps out there that will limit your time on social media, like kind of force you to not use it. Now, where there's a will, there's a way, but you got to have a little bit of discipline. That's without saying. When you go to the gym, when I go to the gym, like I said, for an hour, hour and a half, however much time you have, you might only have 20 minutes in a day, but embrace that 20 minutes as your time to refresh, your time to interact with, maybe it's the bro who's like, hey, what's up, man? He just fist bumps you. You have a little small talk for 5 minutes and you move on. It's going to refresh everything you're doing, because when you live in a state of stagnation and just sit in front of this computer, no matter how creative you try to be, if you don't infuse some social element into your life, you're just kind of going to hit a brick wall. And that's when the loneliness kicks in. Now, the little bit of loneliness there's stages. The full-blown depression, you need to go talk to somebody, possibly change your diet and your lifestyle, or there's just a little bit. We all miss somebody once in a while, whether that be family, whether that be your girlfriend or boyfriend, wife, husband, kids, even a dog, right? So, or cat if you're into cats. But you need to infuse your life with social interaction. So find a hobby, find a new hobby. If music is the thing you're most passionate about, find something else that's going to get you around people. Maybe you want to go to Macy's or the mall. Let's just call it the mall. And every single week you want to go to the Smells Good area, the perfume or colognes, and smell different colognes. Now, I don't know where this is coming from, but let me tell you, this will attract different people into your life, whether it be the salesperson, whether it be other people that are weirdos putting bottles of Smells Good up their nose. So trust me, do something for yourself and get out and meet people. Get outside of that box that you call the comfort zone, that we all call the comfort zone, and meet new people. That could be, if you're into sports, go out to a sports bar instead of watching it at home by yourself or with just a couple friends. Go out to a sports bar type of deal and meet new people. So that is one of my biggest recommendations to fight the loneliness, is to find a hobby that involves other people. If you have a dog and you're single, or even if you're with a couple, or you are a couple, you're with somebody, go to the dog park, find a dog park, find a farmer's market that is dog friendly, walk around, meet new people, force yourself to say hi. You don't have to get into it. I'm not going to tell you to start a full-blown conversation, but say hi, meet new people, become friends with new people, get numbers, be happy. That's really what it's about. When you're lonely, you are not at your finest, right? You're not optimized. You are really sulking in your own solitude. And it's not a good feeling. Now, I'm pretty introverted. I'm what they call an ambivert. If you don't know what that is, Google it. But I enjoy my time alone. In fact, I feel recharged a lot of times when I'm alone. But it can become taxing. We sit here and we're staring at our phones, responding to text messages, email after email after email that's business related. Half the time, most of the text messages that hit my phone aren't even asking how I'm doing. It's asking for something, which that's a whole different story I could talk about in a different video. Love all you guys that support what I do. So that's 2 things. Actually, kind of 3 things. So find a hobby that involves you leaving the house. Stop going to your phone for instant gratification, an instant dopamine and serotonin release, fooling yourself into thinking you're actually interacting with people, because a Facebook status doesn't really count for anything. And that 3rd thing, being the first thing I covered, would be find 3 people at minimum to just pick up the phone and call or contact in one way, shape, or form. A lot of times we sit and we think to ourselves, especially when we're lonely, oh, I miss my fill in the blank. I miss my mom. I miss my dad. I miss my brother. I miss my, best friend. They might have moved away. I miss my coworker even. And we don't pick up the phone because we get in our head like, oh, they don't want to talk right now. Or, oh, like we just feel sorry for ourselves. It's fucking stupid. It's really fucking stupid. Pick up the phone. Nobody will get super upset for you checking in with them, especially if you're in need. And let's face it, when you're lonely and you need to talk to somebody, I'm not talking like a psychiatric type way, but sometimes just, a 5-minute conversation with somebody you really care about can just completely change your day. And who knows, maybe that'll turn into, hey, you want to hang out? Hey, let's go get some food. Hey, what are you doing? Hey, you want to hop on, the PS Network and play some Call of Duty or something, where all of a sudden it turns into an interaction and just kind of spins your day around. So that would be 3 things. Now, the last thing I want to talk about in this video is probably one of the most important things when it comes to this topic, and that's loneliness, depression, feeling alone, living a life of solitude, and just kind of feeling like shit at times. And that's diet and exercise. I already touched on the idea of going to the gym, but it's very important to be active every single day. I don't care if it's for 10 minutes. I don't care if it's literally walking to the end of your driveway, going to the end of the block, coming back, whether that's doing some push-ups, whether that's doing sit-ups. You need to get your heart going. You need to kind of just get a little sweat going on. Sitting in a chair all day is not good for your health. Trust me, I know all about this. I got up to over 200 pounds after I got into a car accident. Chubby Adam, I'm going to pull up a screenshot. This is Chubby Adam. Say hello. Goodbye. I got up to a little over 200 pounds. Now, I'm only 5'8", a very well-proportioned 5'8", I might add. But I sat all day because I have neck injury, back injury. I've worked through it. I feel great now for the most part. But I was sitting all day. And what do you do when you sit all day? You go and grab the Cheetos. You go grab a chicken pot pie. You go, now not all of us, but I'm a chronic overeater just because I love food as much as I love anything else in my life. But that adds up. When we don't burn it off and we have a surplus of shit food, it fucks with your brain chemistry. Trust me, I'm not Bill Nye. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a mathematician. I'm not a construction worker. I could sit here and talk about what I'm not. I'm not going to bother you with that right now. If you want to feel better mentally, you need to start treating yourself better physically. And I think anybody that's watching this video can do just a little bit more to treat our bodies with a little bit more respect on any level. Our bodies are an amazing organism capable of healing itself. Just think about that. Capable of fighting off infection and sickness and disease and all that good stuff. It's mind-blowing when you start giving yourself and giving your body enough credit, the credit that it's due, in my opinion. But think about it. If you don't drink enough water, what happens? You're tired all the time. Your skin gets bad. If you're not eating enough fruits and vegetables, you tend to get sick a lot. If you eat a ton of processed foods, you always kind of feel like garbage. You gain weight. Again, skin problems, digestive problems, bowel problems. Not going to get into that. But focus on what you're putting into your body, especially if you're dealing with this loneliness and this depressed feeling. I'm not going to say depression because you have to actually go to a professional to be diagnosed with depression technically. But you know how you feel. And if you don't like how you feel, do something about it. If you don't like how you feel and you don't do anything about it, it's just like anything I've been preaching, guys. If you don't like where you're at, do something about it. It's really as easy as that. I'm not going to say you're going to be cured of this lonely feeling once in a while. I'm not going to say that you'll never feel lonely again if you talk to somebody or if you start going to the gym. I will tell you that you'll get the feeling a whole lot less, which is a whole lot better way of life, if you ask me. And I've dealt with this. I'm an introvert, kind of like I said. I classify myself as an ambivert, but just being able to surround yourself with like-minded people that support what you do, support your hobbies, the ones that you're about to create, it really helps. And that's it, guys. I hope genuinely hope that this video brings some value to your life and brings some tips and techniques that you can implement into your life to help you through the little tough times, the little rough patches, whether that be a 5-minute breakdown or a week-long, funk. If you have any tips and techniques that you use and find very helpful to get you out of that feeling, leave them in the comments below, because I promise you that there's people that are really going to find value in that, and it's really going to help somebody, kick themselves out of that sad, lonely feeling. And we all need to support each other when it comes to that, I promise you. As always, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, all of that good stuff, at Adam Ivy. Make sure to like and subscribe this video and my channel. I would greatly appreciate that. And until next time, you can find me at adamivy.com.